Hey everyone, so I have another Jacqueline Wilson book review today, and this is Clean Break. Now first of all, when you look at the cover you can see that it's very shiny and very attractive, and this has always been one of my favourite Jacqueline Wilson covers. One of the other paperbacks, the other Clean Break paperbacks, like the revised versions, have it's kind of purple and dark blue squares rather than the purple and the pink, so I'm not really a fan of this one, but this original bright coloured cover is really gorgeous. And you'll notice on the front there that there's an egg missing. You know, it says Vita, Maxi, Mum and Dad, and in the Dad one it's broken. And that kind of indicates straight away what this Jacqueline Wilson book is all about. It starts off really cheery on Christmas morning, the whole family are together, but a couple of pages in they find out that Dad is leaving the family. Now, Dad is not M's real dad. He's a stepdaughter, but he's been around most of her life. It's Vita and Maxi's real father, and of course it's Mum's husband, and he's leaving them for what turns out to be a younger woman with scruffy hair, and she's really disgusting, really. She's, you know, and that's obviously heartbreaking, and it tears the family apart, and Em and Vita and Maxi are distraught. Mum is distraught. They live with Gran, who is your typical sort of, oh, just shut up and get on with it. You always pick the wrong men, Julie, you know. Nothing ever works out in your life. You first went off with that evil man, and now you married a man who goes after younger women and stuff. You know, the gran who can never stop moaning, but deep down really cares for her kid and cares for her grandkids and does look after them when she needs to be looked after. And a lot of it is about the kids waiting that their dad come back, and occasionally you think he's going to come back, and then there'll be a big hiccup which will totally just reverse any thought you had of him returning. And then there are a few other bits in it, and obviously I'm not going to tell you whether he comes back at the end, but the ending I was really surprised by, because I'd read this when it first came out. That probably would have been when I was about, is there a date on this? Well, it would have been about 2007, 2008, because it's got the Laureate 207 there. And I read it when it first came out and I really loved it, but I'd completely forgotten how it ended, so it was such a surprise, the ending. And I loved the ending. I thought it was really good and really well done, but it does let you make up your own mind about it, because what the obvious may not actually be the obvious at the very end. Like if there was a sequel to this, well, it's hard to say what I'm trying to say without spoiling it, because I don't want to ruin it for you, but at the end something happens. The very last sentence on the very last page might not be the obvious implied, but there we go. There's also a bit in this which is kind of, initially it sounds like just a sort of subplot, but it plays on the big part where she wants to meet Jenna Williams, who is an author. It's her favourite author, and I'm going to find an illustration here for you while I'm talking. And they go to London to meet this author, and it's very interesting because she waits in line for ages to meet this author, and it's brilliant. Now this author is Jenna Williams, as I said, and it took me until pretty much page, say 250 out of 300 to realise that this author's initials was the same as Jacqueline Wilson's. Jacqueline Wilson, Jenna Williams. I had to rethink of her name there. And then you look at the picture and you think, hang on a minute, that's Jacqueline Wilson. So she's obviously created this author to be very much like herself, including her love of rings, because Jacqueline Wilson, if you don't know this, has a massive love of rings. She has loads and loads of rings. So I thought that was really nice. Some brilliant Nick Sharratt illustrations in there, as always. My favourite character in this is the character of Em, who is the narrator. It's told in first person from the point of view of Em. And she has self-esteem issues. She's quite a large girl. She has problems there, plus she also doesn't have her dad. She gets bullied at school. She tries to look after Vita, who is very much a daddy's little princess, but they bond quite a lot, and I like that. And it shows how siblings can be brought together when a family breaks up, and how they are there for each other when it really counts. If you've got brothers and sisters, you will know that you might end up fighting like cat and dog. My brother and sister are younger, so it's different for me, but they fight like cat and dog. They are each other's rivals in life, you know, they always have to get one over on each other. But this brings the family really close together, and it shows how the kids actually cope with getting a breakup, and especially in the character of Maxi, who I believe is in reception, so I believe he's only 4 or 5. His specific age isn't given, but he is just a young boy. And it shows the psychological effect it has on him, because he starts to pretend that he doesn't remember Dad, but there are certain scenes where it's obvious that he does. So for an average child reader, they may not pick up on the fact that it's expressing how children deal with this. For them, they might just think it's an enjoyable read that they may or may not be able to relate to, because it is obviously, family breakups are problems that more than half of children have to go through nowadays, I believe. But for a more advanced reader who can actually look in between the lines, you can see that it's expressing psychological effects on kids, how it brings them together, family breakups, and the problems it has there. And the ending of it, obviously you have to understand the ending of it, that last sentence. It took me a while to realise it. So it kind of has an happy ending, but it kind of doesn't have a happy ending. But whether that's a happy ending because the family get over it or it probably comes back, I'm not going to tell you. But it's a really interesting ending, just as Jacqueline Wilson's books always are. She is brilliant. I never stop talking, do I? She is brilliant at tackling problems that children face. There are a lot of kids authors who write books about children becoming child stars and children winning big competitions and children going on fancy holidays. Hang on for a minute. How many children actually are child stars? If you think of the amount of children there are in the world, very few. So I love the fact that Jacqueline Wilson, still to this day, even though the child stardom is rising, more kids aspire to be stars than they do to aspire to be authors and doctors and whatever, she still focuses on the fact that she tackles issues that kids generally face, and I really admire her for that, and I think it what makes her absolutely brilliant. She is just, I love her so much. She is fantastic. Great inspiration to my life, and this is just one edition in her many, many books. Definitely give it a read. It is brilliant. The writing size isn't too big, not too small, really nice. It's not too thick either. It's really good length. And you will not put it down. It is so addictive, you will love it, I promise. But please feel free to leave comments on this book. If there are any specific Jacqueline Wilson books you'd like me to review next, let me know. I have about 4 or 5 in the drawer over there, but I need to go to the library to get the rest out. And that's it for just now, so I'll see you all next time. Bye!